எல்லாருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த வீடியோல நம்ம C++ இருக்கக்கூடிய பேசிக் கான்செப்ட்ஸ், ஊப்ஸோட பேசிக் கான்செப்ட்ஸை பத்தி பார்க்க போறோம். இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் பார்ட் வந்து நீங்க யாரும் பார்க்காம இருந்தீங்க அப்படின்னா கீழே டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன்ல லிங்க் கொடுத்துருக்கேன், அந்த லிங்கை யூஸ் பண்ணி நீங்க பார்த்துக்கலாம். ஸோ இதுல பொதுவா சீல இல்லாத கான்செப்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் என்னென்ன இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது தான் இந்த பேசிக் கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் ஊப்ஸ்ல கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. ஸோ இதுல பார்த்தோம் அப்படின்னா ஆப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ், classes, data abstraction and encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, dynamic binding, and then message passing. These are the 7 basic concepts which are all important in OOPS concept. So first we are going to discuss about the objects. Basically the objects are called as runtime entities, and also we can say that combination of both data and functions into a single unit is also called as an objects, which means in a single object both variables and functions are present. Why the object is called as runtime entity means the object will be created during the runtime of a program. So what the object is called as runtime entities. And here is the representation of an object. Basically, we create an object for a class. So here the object name is student, and the student object consists of data such as name, date of birth, marks, and the functions which are all used to perform tasks such as total, average, and display. So combination of these two forms a student object. Next, let us discuss about the classes. Class is an user-defined data type. Class is an user-defined data type. In other words, we can say that class will be a collection of member variables and member functions, or else data members and member functions. So a class which consists of the variables and functions which are all needed for our program. And also, for a single class, we can create n number of objects, which is also known as we can create n number of multiple instances. So in simple terms, a class is a collection of objects of similar type. Collection of objects of similar type. And then data abstraction and data encapsulation. Abstraction in the sense it refers that data hiding. It means representing the essential features without including the background details, without including any background details, which means it just displays the needed things only, and it doesn't, it hides the functionality part. It hides the functionality part, that is implementation part. And encapsulation means wrapping up of a data into a single unit. So wrapping up of data in the sense wrapper. Basically the wrapper means a wrapper which consists of collection of items. So here encapsulation means wrapping up of data and functions. Wrapping up of both data and functions is also called as an encapsulation. And the main feature in OOPS concept is inheritance. This is the very value added feature in C++. Basically, the inheritance means deriving a new class from an old class, which means deriving a new class from an old class is called as inheritance. The purpose of deriving is to acquire the properties of one class, which means properties of old class to new class, acquiring the properties of old class from a new class. So to achieve this, the inheritance concept is introduced, and the main use of inheritance is code reusability, which means it avoids the redundancy of a code, and also we can add additional features to an existing class without modifying it. So if we want to add an extra feature to the existing classes, it is easy in inheritance concept, which means if for example, if we have a class A and then class B. There are two classes means in class A I am using a variable A, and in class B I am using variable declaring a variable B, and in a class B I am calculating C equal to A plus B. So kindly note, so here you can watch that the A variable which belongs to a class A, the B variable which belongs to class B, but in class B I am trying to access both A and B. So this cannot be done without the help of inheritance. This can be only achieved by the help of inheritance. So if you want to acquire the variable A to B, you definitely want to extend the class A from B. So we want to extend the A. So class B needs to extend from A. After this step, you can access the variables and member functions of the class A. This is called inheritance. So inheritance means acquiring the properties of old class to new class. So for that we are deriving a new class from an old class. This is called inheritance. The next main topic is polymorphism. So polymorphism means which takes more than one form, which takes more than one meaning for a single use, for a single operation, which means same operation will provide a different meaning. For example, if we have a plus, symbol plus, which is an operator, basically we all know that this plus symbol is used to add the two numbers. At the same time, this plus symbol will also act as a concatenation. If we mention this if we mention this operator for numbers, then it will act as an addition operator. At the same time, if we mention it for two strings, then it will act as a concatenation. Here I have mentioned the example. So this is called more than one form. So the same purpose is used for more than one thing. Same operator is used for more than one thing. So this polymorphism has two types. One is operator overloading and another one is function overloading. So the operator overloading, which means, as the name implies, the same operator for different purpose. As I previously explained, the plus operator, which is used for numbers, then it is act as the addition operation. At the same time, the plus operator, which is used for strings, then it is acted as a concatenation. And function overloading, which means same function name with different arguments. For example, if you want to draw the shapes, draw different types of shapes in a single program, so for that I am using a same function name draw. For that I am using a same function name draw. But but notice here the same function name, but the arguments are different. For drawing a circle, I am going to use the same function name draw, and also for drawing a box, I am also going to use the same function name draw. But for these two functions, the arguments will be changed. To draw a circular, we need radius. So here comes one single argument. For drawing a box, if we draw a rectangle, then definitely we pass two arguments here, length and breadth. So in this way, it will differentiate the functions. It will means the compiler will differentiate the functions. This is the concept of function overloading. Same function name with the different arguments. In later videos, we will discuss in detail about operator overloading and also a function overloading, because these two are a vast topic. Next concept is dynamic binding. Dynamic binding, which is also known as a late binding. The binding means once the program is saved, and after that the first process is compilation. After compilation, we will try to run if there is no error in compilation. So while running, all the functions and all the variables will map. So this is called a binding purpose. This is called the binding. So why it is named as dynamic binding means this code association will happens until the runtime. Sorry, it will happens during the runtime. The code association will happens during the runtime. So what? It is called as dynamic binding. And the next major concept is message passing. In the previous part, in introduction part itself, I mentioned that two objects can communicate with each other. So that concept is called as message passing. So one of the object can communicate with each other, and the informations can be transferred from one object to another object is called message passing. The message passing involves specifying the name of the object. So in message passing, we want to specify the name of the object and the function name which we want to call, and also the information. Here the information is a parameter. So here I had depicted an example. The employee, which means object, salary is a function name, so it is a message. So and then the name is an parameter, which is an information. So in this way we will use the message passing technique. Through this way the object will communicate with one another. So these are all the basic concepts which we want to know before getting deeper into C++. So these so let us have a summary that today we discussed about the 7 basic concepts of OOPS objects. In a simple term, object is a runtime entity. In a object is a runtime entity, and also in other words we can say that object is a combination of both data and functions into single unit, and also the classes it is an user defined data type. Class, in other words, we can say that it is a collection of member functions and member variables, and an abstraction means data hiding, and which means displaying only essential needs and hiding the background details, and encapsulation means wrapping up of data into a single unit, and inheritance, it is a main feature in OOPS concept, which will derive a new class from an old class to acquire the properties of an old classes. And a polymorphism means more than one form. In this we seen that two types of polymorphism, one is operator overloading and another is a function overloading. And in a dynamic binding means the binding process will happens between compile time and runtime. So at the same time, message passing technique, which means user to communicate one object to communicate with another object. These are all the basic concepts. If you have any doubts relevant these topics, you can mention your doubts in comments. Thank you.